Now, continuing on for our look ahead to the TG Carr All-Ireland Intermediate Championship semi-finals this weekend. We've spoken to 3 out of the 4 camps, so now it is the turn of Wexford, the fourth and final team that will be in action in the semi-finals this weekend. And I'm delighted to be joined by the team manager, Lizzy Kent. Lizzy, looking ahead now, it's another battle at Kildare. You faced them in the Leinster Intermediate semi-final. I suppose, what's the thought process now going into Sunday's tie?
Yeah, look, I suppose we're really looking forward to it. Anytime that you get to head into an All Ireland semi final, you have to really look forward to it and enjoy the occasion. We're under no illusions that it's going to be a really really challenging battle. We know that we're going to have to be at our absolute best, as in Kildare have had a tremendous season, like winning Division 3, winning the Leinster Championship. So we know we're going to have to be at our absolute best on the day, but really looking forward to it, Dermot.
And I mentioned it to Grace Lifford, who's the captain of Kildare. Looking at form and head-to-head records, you guys have played each other 6 times in the last 12 months. This will be the 7th occasion now where we've seen Kildare and Wexford play each other between league, provincial and championship. Kildare have edged it in terms of the form guide. They have 6 wins from 6 in those games. I mentioned it to Grace. Does that become a factor in players' mindsets and coaching staff that you're coming against a team that might be a little bit of a bogey side for you, that you haven't got a win over them in the last 12 months? Does that maybe affect on the mentality of the team going into a tie, especially when it's coming into a semi-final?
Yeah, I think you can if you let it. But I suppose for us, and our process has always been very much, post game, we go back to the drawing board. We look at what's gone well. We look at areas that we need to improve. And obviously, there's a good few areas to improve on, as in when you mentioned that track record. But I suppose if you get yourself kind of blindsided thinking about that, as in you lose, I suppose, why would we turn up? That sort of a way. So I suppose for us, it's about getting our heads down, getting our performance right, as I kind of said already, we're very acutely aware that we're going to have to be at our absolute best. I mean, Kildare, and rightly so, as in the previous encounters, I can't say that there's too many games where I would be saying that, we were a little bit unlucky. They're a really, really good side. But no, our focus is very much kind of on our performance and on what we need to do. And then I suppose it's wherever the cards fall after that.
You mentioned like performances. I know you had the league campaign and Leinster didn't go the way that you planned in terms of not bringing home silverware. But looking at the championship, you've had some fairly tough games with the likes of Monaghan and Roscommon in the group stage, and then Leitrim in the quarterfinals. Obviously, it's not great on the heart to have such tightly fought contests, but is it great that you have that experience of having to get over the line in fairly tight games, that it will stand to you when you're going in to play games like Kildare, where it could be a couple of points between the two of you going into the dying embers of this game?
Yeah, I think so. As in the intermediate championship, the last 2 years, I'd say my heart hasn't been right off the back of it, and this year is no different. But yeah, no, like we've had a really, and we knew kind of coming into the group stages, that it was going to be challenging. Like last year, teams went out that were maybe expected to get into the latter stages of it, so there was never an element that we were kind of, complacent in relation to going into any game, and results, I suppose, back that up. But no, it's been really good for us in the sense of, we've had to battle our way back. We started well in games and then maybe had to close out games, or maybe we haven't started well and had to kind of find our way back into games. So different challenges, different setups that we've had to kind of work through and overcome. And, as in with that, I suppose we've had a lot of players that have got a lot of minutes and a lot of game time as well, which was hugely important at this time of the year as well, that they have, championship minutes under their belts as well. And that's going to be really important, I think, coming into the weekend as well.
Looking at, you've been in the role since 2021, but I guess in 2021, I don't think you anticipated being the Wexford Ladies manager at that stage. You came in during the summer, and it was, I suppose, a tough time for Wexford in terms of performances weren't going the way that they wanted. But, was it an easy decision when you were approached by the Wexford board to say, would you take the role as manager?
Well, I think initially it was kind of a short-term gig. That was the initial thing, just to kind of see out the 2021 campaign. And in fairness, as in like the girls, and as in it's all credit to them, to be really honest with you. I mean, really put the shoulder to the wheel. We went on a tremendous run, and obviously didn't end the way we wanted that year against Westmeath in Croke Park. But I suppose if you'd said at the start of it that we were going to end up in Croke Park, people would have probably laughed at you. So after that, and I suppose when things had settled down, and I chatted with county board and chatted with the players, yeah, I mean, look at, I suppose I'm involved in ladies football in Wexford for the last probably nearly 30 years at this stage, and probably in a coaching element for 20 years. So it's massively close to my heart, and I suppose it's a real privilege and an honour to obviously manage the county. And look, I'm working with a tremendous group of girls, a tremendous management team, you know, that we all keep each other on our toes, which is hugely important. And I suppose on top of all that, it's a hugely enjoyable environment to be in. And, you know, I suppose obviously, yeah, it helps when you're on the road and you're winning and you're getting results and whatever. But even on the tough days, you know, as in we pick each other back up, we bounce back, and the bounce back ability within the group is super. And I have such admiration for that as well. So no, it wasn't at that stage. It was an easy decision to say yes. And I feel very lucky to have been, I suppose, part of this journey with the crew over the last couple of years as well.
While you do have the experience, obviously, with Wexford in terms of the Gaelic football side, I guess in a coaching perspective, before you took on the role, you probably would have been more predominantly known for your soccer coaching. You know, you've been there with Irish underage sides, and obviously now you're the manager of Wexford Youths in the Women's Premier Division as well. So do you find that there's a great crossover between the two sports, that you can maybe use the same coaching style across both the ladies Gaelic football and the soccer as well?
Yeah, hugely actually, as in it's really, and even I find myself like using the same language, the same challenges, I suppose, are areas that you're looking to fix, as in they're very they're mirroring, like. So there's times that I would be doing a soccer session and the language I'd be using the following night in the football session would be similar, you know, maybe defensive elements or attacking elements. And yeah, massively. And I probably have seen it more and more in the last, probably maybe early doors, maybe not as much when I was coming in, you're kind of finding your footing, but I suppose maybe your own style and your own kind of thought processes on it as well. So yeah, now I would see it massively, and I would see a lot of areas that yeah, that I suppose that one would help the other, you know. And as in and I suppose that's the big benefit of being involved in a number of sports, because it always kind of keeps you on your toes or keeps you thinking. So something that's worked in the football, which maybe might be a little bit unorthodox, but that is transferable to the soccer, and vice versa as well, you know. So I think it's maybe it's a good challenge from my own mind and my own coaching journey as well.
You mentioned the coaching journey. I know you were, you've played Gaelic football at Wexford in the past. You were in the 2007 All Ireland Ladies final, and you have that experience of obviously playing with the side. But when had you made the decision to go into the coaching role?
Yeah, I suppose like I was maybe a little bit different from some players. So I always really, really enjoyed coaching. And I suppose when I was younger in my club at home, we probably, like when I was 12 or 13, we didn't actually have a team. So when things kind of got moving and whatever, probably at about 15, I actually started coaching some of the girls that I played with, or if you want to call it that. I suppose looking back now, would I call it coaching? But anyway, I used to run the sessions anyway. But so it was probably about kind of 15 when I really started kind of, and I always had that kind of curious or inquisitive mind in relation to the game, and in relation to, you know, looking at oppositions and whatever. I mean, at that stage it was probably maybe a bit random. You know, I know maybe some of my mates at the time used to think, Jesus, does she ever let it go, you know? So I'd coach, and I suppose like, whilst people would maybe feel that soccer was maybe my background, but Gaelic would have been, I would have been probably involved in all levels at club, from like under 12 up to adult. I would have coached at all levels of underage intercounty, from 14s to minor, been involved in school teams over the years, been involved in college teams. And then obviously like being involved at, like I had coached a little bit with the adult team in Wexford over kind of some of the previous kind of regimes. So I suppose my background would have really started in football, and probably maybe when I finished playing intercounty football, whilst I'd been involved in club soccer and whatever, it was at that stage that I got involved with the Wexford Youths. So a whole new horizon, a whole new kind of eyes open to something completely different. But I suppose, yeah, I'm a little bit different to somewhere. I would say I love coaching as much as I loved playing, you know. So I haven't heard too many say that, but as in I can definitely say, yeah, I enjoy both. And probably to the irritation of the players sometimes, because I'm as excited about a session as I probably was about, maybe playing a match a few years ago.
Is it tough? I know you're obviously in the two roles now. You're balancing managing Wexford Ladies Gaelic footballers, and you're also trying to manage Wexford Youths at the same time.
Interim managing Wexford Youths.
Interim managing. Let's we won't get into any trouble. We'll say you're in that role now, but it's trying to find the balance between the two. Obviously, you can't be at two places at once when fixtures are clashing at the weekends. So is it great now that the league, I know we had the Avenir Cup just a few weeks ago as well, but is it great that the league is in its summer break because of the Women's World Cup, and now you can focus everything on the Wexford Ladies Gaelic football side at the moment?
Yeah, absolutely. I suppose the last few weeks, and whilst the Avenir Cup was a really really enjoyable competition. Of course, I think the first weekend of the All Ireland series, we were in Belfast with the football or with the soccer on the Saturday against Glentoran, and then Sunday. Then thankfully it was a home game in the park or in Wexford. So, but so for those couple of weeks there was that element of a challenge. I suppose luckily, I suppose, as opposed to maybe some of the other sports, the clashes were limited. So like soccer was Saturday, football was Sunday, and then it's every second day then in between, training wise. So clash wise, thankfully, because I that would have been really, really challenging and really, really that would have just been very challenging. But luckily that was the way it panned out, and I suppose we were able to kind of work in both environments, and not and the most important thing I suppose was to not drop the ball in any of them. You know what I mean? So sometimes if people are busy, maybe certain things can get missed. But luckily I had super management team in the soccer, super management team in the football, and I suppose with that then I could say that very little got missed. But yeah, it is at the minute now to have the break, the mid-season break. It's probably come at the right time for the football season.
Yeah, but obviously now this weekend there's no clashes, not that we know of. I don't think there's any other games that are going to take place involving yourself this weekend. But it's all shoulders to the wheel now at Parnell Park against Kildare. I suppose confidence at an all-time high, do you reckon, in the squad now going into this game?
Yeah, I think we've worked really, really hard this year, and I suppose whilst maybe silverware has been on the table, we missed out on a league final on score difference. Had a good Leinster campaign, and obviously got beaten by Kildare on the day. So in general, if you take it in isolation, it's been a decent season, and again we've come into the All Ireland campaign, and I suppose just started to build. And it sounds very simplistic, but just looking at what we're doing, trying to improve it every day. Enjoying the journey, enjoying the process. Like it's a short window. So yeah, we're really looking forward to Sunday. As I said, these are days that you dream about, like when you're young and when you're playing underage. An All Ireland semi-final, one step away from Croke Park against a really, really good outfit. Like there's no, it's not like a gimme or anything like that. It's a really, really talented outfit. Like these are the games you want to be playing in, and like I know I'm really excited going into it, and I hope that and I would feel that the players are as well, just like Kildare are. Like these are the days you live for. So look, we want to turn up, we want to get a performance on the day, and I think and I hope and I feel it'll be a cracking game, and wherever the cards fall after that, then we'll see on Sunday evening.
Well, we'll have to see on Sunday evening. I suppose you will maybe not have the luxury, depending on the way the time works out. I don't think you'll be paying too much attention to the game in Longford beforehand. I think you'll be focusing primarily on your game at 4:00. Obviously, Antrim and Clare throwing at 2:00 in Longford, and you're throwing at 4:00. So we will know by that evening. We could have extra time as well. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see what way the hands of fate, should I say, turn in this weekend. But look, we'll have to see. Parnell Park, 4 p.m. Yourselves in Kildare, another battle between the two teams. 7 times we've seen them over the last 12 months. Who will get the result, begs to see. But Lizzy, thanks for joining me today to have a chat about this game. And of course, best of luck on Sunday.
Thank you very much, Dermot.